Aha, welcome back to the extent that you were not here beforehand. Alright, so we're going to continue with our Evo show. We're going to now bring on a couple of guests to talk about Smash Brothers games.
That's right. We have D1 and Tafokints, a.k.a. D1, which is his real name, and Daniel, or Dan, whichever he prefers, so there you go. And if I call you Duran a bunch of times, D1, I'm sorry.
I see what you did. I see what you did.
What?
It was... You called him Tafokints, didn't you, just now?
Didn't I? Or did...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Shoot.
No, see, I thought it was a joke because D1 always calls me James.
Right.
And he calls you David.
Oh, right. No,
that wasn't intentional?
No, because they're both on here right now.
Right,
yeah.
All right, anyway, let's just get started.
Okay. Anyways. Actually, you know what? I should also do this, too. I should take out these things because these things are highly inaccurate right now.
So, we wanted to have you guys on to talk about Smash 4 and Melee. And what we want to do is sort of open it up to you, but in general, the things we're interested in are storylines to watch, players to watch, if you have, interesting pool matchups, something like that. Sort of things that people would want to know about if they're watching.
Right.
All right, cool. So I guess I'll start it off.
Sure.
Cool. How's it going, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning in here to the EX Special Season 4, Episode 1, Pre-Evolution 2015 Super Show. And I will touch on Smash 4 storylines right now for EVO 2015. So the interesting part about Smash 4 at EVO is, first off, ever since Apex 2015 and the other events that we've had leading up to EVO, a lot of the events didn't feature custom moves, right? Even CO 2015. But then once around the springtime, when Mr. Wizard dropped the bomb on us that EVO was going to have customs, it was crazy. Like, there was a split between the communities. Some people wanted to host events with customs, some didn't. Anyway, what we're going to have here is basically the true test of endurance right here for Smash 4 players. First off, there's only going to be 2 days for them to play, right?
Right.
Friday and finals being on Saturday, and also semifinals. So, and the other thing will be a ton of moves that players still have no experience against. So not only will they have to be ready to play all day basically in pools and also bracket, but they're gonna have to get accustomed to a lot of moves that they probably still have no true counter for. We'll also have the world trying their best to stop Zero from winning further events. This man is still not signed. 40 straight wins ever since November 29th. He entered a SoCal event, and he entered the SoCal event for Smash 4.
Right.
And after losing, I believe the week before, he lost a Smash 4 event using Fox, right? Where Sky Williams held an invitational at his place, and he flew out numerous players from around the world. Mr. R, ESAM, and so on and so forth. And Zero ended up not getting first place there, but ever since that event, he realized, Diddy was a really good character, and also Sheik, and that he was going to invest more time in those characters. More so Diddy, since he was stronger back at that time. So yes, Zero, 40 straight wins, and right now he said he's basically trying to get the triple crown. He reveres Apex 2015 and CO 2015 as big events, and he feels like if he takes EVO 2015, that'll be like the triple crown. He's been remaining consistent regardless of patches, customs being on or off, and even with domestic and international players attending events that he has no experience against, he still manages to net first place finishes. So of course, everyone's asking right now, can this unsigned player be stopped at EVO 2015? Another thing. Oh, sorry if you guys wanted to chime in.
No, I was just saying, unsigned, dude. That's like I didn't even think
realize
about that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's kind of ridiculous.
That seems bizarre.
Yeah, dude. I'll say one thing. There are a lot of people that have their eyes on Zero, but since he's such a hot commodity, he's not just gonna settle.
Okay, all right.
Okay, smart man.
Yeah, playing the field a little bit.
Yeah,
I like
that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. So
right. You got to play hardball.
for sure. If you have that kind of cred that he does.
Well, I mean, you're good friends with Zero, so let me ask you a couple of questions, right?
Okay.
So one of the things going into Smash WiiU obviously is that patches, right? So Diddy has been nerfed a little bit. Is Zero worried about that at all?
All right, so Zero, when he first got his hands on the latest patch for Smash 4, he was actually really depressed at one point.
When was that? How long ago was that?
I would say, let's see, when was 1.08 released? About a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was
fairly recently.
Because basically he would have to go into CO 2015, you know, with new characters. Like,
right.
So that, because he was ready to go in with the Diddy that he's been playing for such a long time at CO 2015, and all of a sudden, right before CO and Evo, he has to find a new character to main. So that was really tough for him. Now, you said how? What was the question again?
So is he ready? Does he have like?
Okay.
Because I know he also seconds Sheik, but Sheik is really good now, right?
So here's the thing: Zero has been practicing a lot lately. We had numerous top players actually come by over the past couple of months to give Zero training for Evo 2015. And right now, a week before Evo, we have Mr. R, who's one of the best Sheik players from the Netherlands. He's the one that was one of the top placers at Sky's Invitational.
Okay.
Mr. R, Vinny, a whole lot of top Smash 4 players have been here training Zero, making sure that he can get his Sheik, his new main, up to snuff. Since Diddy, you know, his Diddy is still really good,
right?
But you have to just work so much harder to get a win with that character. So because of that, he's been investing a lot of time in Sheik. Also,
is that character not good anymore, Diddy?
Diddy is still good, but you just have to.
But not as good.
He's like, I would say he's not like the best character in the game. He's probably like 5th, 6th.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
So in other words, he could still totally win using Diddy if he really needed to, but it's just good to have a secondary character, right?
Yeah, I think the main problem with Diddy is the fact that he just does not kill as early as he used to. When Zero used to use Diddy, he would get kills at earlier percents, but now he has to invest way more time in building up damage, while the opponent probably can KO him earlier than he KOs them. So because of that, he just opted for another character that has safer approaches. And to be honest, a lot of us thought Sheik was the best character in Smash 4 anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just that Diddy was just so easy to use, and he netted kills really early, and people just did not have a firm grasp of Sheik. But now things have changed, especially since Diddy's nerfed. People are actually venturing out to other characters instead of falling back on Diddy.
Yeah. I guess a good example of that is like O.Sagat with ST. Super easy to win with, not the best character. Cable, super easy to win with, not the best character in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Right? It turns out maybe Sheik was better all along, right? So, interesting.
Now, there's some more interesting things to talk about as far as Smash 4 storylines are concerned. We have Nairo, who's a fan favorite. This guy got 2nd place at CO 2015. He's basically Zero's rival, right? He's liked for his very aggressive play style, dominant in the tri-state region. This man has been steadily improving in results, especially ever since he picked up Zero Suit Samus. Every time he plays against Zero 2, he does better against Zero with every set that they play. So now everyone's asking, can Nairo be the man at Evo 2015 to come and dethrone Zero? At CEO, everyone was rooting for Nairo. People were going nuts, but still, Zero managed to come out on top. And now Nairo said, "I'm gonna basically see you at Evo now." So this is the hypest rivalry right now between these two. You know, it's funny. Even on Nairo's stream, there was there was a battle going on between those two on Wi-Fi, and they made believe that there was money on the line, but there wasn't. But everybody just tuned into the stream. They were so pumped. They're like, "Oh my goodness, is this a $1,000 money match?" It really wasn't. And everyone came in and they were like going nuts. Those two guys generate so much hype for Smash 4. Zero residing on the west coast of, on SoCal, in SoCal, while Nairo living in Tri-State. That's like the classic East Coast versus West Coast rivalry.
Okay.
And even though, yes, Zero is from Chile and he's not an official citizen, he's been in SoCal for such a long time that we basically say that he lives in SoCal.
I mean, he's been here since we had you two on for Smash 4 when it first came out, right?
That was last year.
Yeah.
Yep, last year. Dang. Yeah. We had him over your place for the Smash 4. We were just basically covering the characters, like the entire. That was insane.
Dang.
But there's some more interesting things to touch on for Smash 4 now. So Mr. R from the Netherlands, I touched on him earlier. He's the contender to Zero's Sheik. So here's the interesting thing. With the recent nerfs to Diddy Kong, right? This implies that Zero, if he were to opt for Diddy, would have a bad matchup against Mr. R. It is very likely that we're going to see a Sheik Ditto, or a Sheik Mirror match, as they say in the FGC, between the two in bracket. Now, since Mr. R has way more Sheik experience playing the character ever since the 3DS version, more people feel like Mr. R, who represents Lowland Lions, might be the favorite to win in that matchup if they face in bracket.
Interesting. Okay. So I mean, it might actually be a better advantage for Zero if he just avoids fighting him altogether. Then somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to the bracket.
Yeah,
of course. You can't do anything about that.
The bracket gods get to determine that.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's one of the scariest players now in Smash 4, especially with customs on, that everyone is watching out for. Esam from Florida, right? This man, he benefits the most from customs. He's been featured in a Daily Dot article speaking of how he's the best Pikachu in Smash 4. Now, the reason why he's so scary is because there's this infinite with Pikachu that he has with Thunder Wave, right? And if Esam sets it up properly, he'll be able to net a heavy Skull Bash, which can potentially KO his opponents at 50%. Now, most characters get their kills around 100% plus, right? Esam, if he's only able to kill people around 40-50%, this makes him like a really big threat to almost everyone in bracket. First off, no one really uses Pikachu at high level. Esam has the best grasp of that character, so that already gives him an edge, right? Now, another thing, the fact that he can kill early, and he also has an opportunity to infinite his opponents. All this basically puts everything in his favor coming into Evo 2015.
Interesting. Okay.
So talk to me about customs.
I want to ask.
Yeah, definitely. I know that there's a little bit of contention about having the custom movesets that are being used at Evo. How are players looking at that, and how are they adapting to that?
All right, well, I'd say it's pretty split. It's down the middle. Some people are for, some people still aren't. The ones that enjoy using custom moves are basically telling everyone else to adapt to the custom moves. Don't try to put themselves in situations where they have to deal with it. While the ones that don't like custom moves are, they basically look at it as a crutch, right? A lot of these custom moves give players somewhat of an unfair advantage, and where when they faced off before, it seemed like the matchup was basically all about skill, right? You would outwit your opponent and come out on top. You'd basically try to get a read and all that stuff. You don't try to use jank to get ahead of your opponent. But now, with the introduction of custom moves, you have people like Villager just camping at the edge with this explosive balloon that keeps popping up, and there's also this like sapling that you could put on the stage which could trip your opponents. Now think of this: you go near the edge, you leave a trip sapling, and also you just hop above the edge, put out that little Lloyd rocket that slowly travels across the stage, while every time you're at the edge, you just initiate your B, which is the explosive balloons that separate and go through the stage sometimes. You're not even fighting your opponent. You're just having a person literally stay at the edge, and they're spamming projectiles.
That's what I'm talking about.
and David is so happy right
now. That's the character that I use.
I mean, of course, there are ways to go around it, but a lot of people are afraid that if you just allow these guys to use a lot of these jank moves, it's probably gonna kill the viewership for the game. Because then, if people want to like tune into Smash 4, all they're gonna see is just literal jank everywhere, left and right.
Well, I mean, here's a question for
I like the cheap stuff.
Yeah, here's my question for you. I mean, if it's something that everybody accepted and tried to find ways around, would it be considered jank anymore? Would it be considered gimmicks? Because like obviously people are gonna find good strategies with the set that they already have, and if those weren't the default moves, then what they're doing now would be considered jank compared to, like, let's say if they were the other moves by default, right? So I mean, is there a contingent of people who just see it as just actual legitimate play and stuff?
Well, the only people that see it as legitimate play are the people that are for customs. That's literally it. The ones that don't enjoy playing with them see it as otherwise. They just see it as a crutch, an easy way to get by. players that before you'd see them, you use a lot of skill, try to maneuver around their opponents to try to, best their opponents. Now they're just falling back on one strategy, and it's basically like, I dare you to try to find a way around this. So I sit here and do this for like 6 straight minutes. Good luck,
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that's I guess that's basically the argument against customs.
Are there any other custom movesets that? Well, let me phrase it like this: which characters or how many characters do you think would be better off using custom moves?
To be honest, a lot of the characters do benefit from custom moves, but at the same time, as time has progressed with Smash 4, people have been finding ways to make the default characters actually work in a competitive environment. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's kind of a subjective argument. I guess.
For sure. Right.
Yeah, it's really weird, but yeah, whenever customs come up in an argument when it comes to Smash 4, it never ends well. That's the only thing I can tell.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but going back to the storylines, though, we also have some interesting things to mention. With Japan is actually coming through.
That's right.
For Smash 4.
Right.
Players like Nietono and Rain, one of the top 2 Japanese players, will be coming up to Las Vegas for Evo, and these guys play characters that do have a good matchup against Zero in Sheik and Luigi, and they can also potentially throw off Zero with playstyles that he's not used to. I do remember when he went to Chikage 2015 near the last week of April, he mentioned how a lot of the Japanese players were actually taking games off of him, and he found their overall skill level to be even better than the average player here in North America.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
it's pretty interesting stuff to look out for.
Now, are those the only 2 Japanese players coming out, or are there going to be more than that?
Oh, they're going to be way more, but those are like the most notable ones.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. We also have,
what about,
let's see, Larry Lur. He's the best Fox player in the world right now, ranked 2nd in SoCal, also 4th place finisher at CO 2015. He plays Luigi and Sheik for matchups where he'd prefer not to opt for Fox. And the funny thing, interesting thing, he beat Esam twice, who's one of the best Pikachu mains, and Mr. R as well at CEO. And another thing is not so many people know how to deal with is Fox and Luigi. So Larry might have an edge. And an interesting fact too, at SDCC last year, he did win with Bowser for the 3DS.
Oh, that's right.
I remember that.
That's right.
Yeah, he's a really good player. And I guess, I don't know, I think, Ultra David, you said you like Rosalina or no?
I do like watching that. Yeah, I don't play that character, but I think she's really fun to watch.
Well, the Buzz will be in attendance.
Yeah, sweet.
Best Rosalina player, and also really good Olimar main. He was recently spotted using Sheik at a this past weekend at Qatar, which leads us to assume that he might opt to go Sheik at more future events. Actually, scary thing, I feel like a lot of people, after the last training session we had here with all the top players from around the world at my place, a lot of players started saying how they want to pick up Sheik for the future. So we might just have a huge influx of Sheiks in the Smash 4 brackets.
Okay. I mean,
scary stuff.
Here's a question right now. Like, so who would you say are the top 5 characters that people are probably going to expect to see most often right now?
Top 5 characters at Evo 2015?
Yeah. Characters-wise, yeah.
So Evo 2015, definitely Sheik, number 1. We're going to see Luigi players, of course. Luigis are getting really popular. Sheik, Luigi. As good as Rosalina is, there aren't that many Rosalina representatives. But I would still say Rosalina's up there with the rest of them. But top 5 characters that we'd see a lot. Sheik, Luigi, Mii Brawler. I would not be surprised to see Mii Brawler.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
With customs on, this character is really scary to fight. He can potentially kill you at really low percents, from like 30 to 60. He has a lot of combo setups that can take you to the edge and then just off into the blast zone. So Mii Brawler, small little character, and he has great aerial mobility, really hard to hit overall, and he hits really hard as well. So people are scared to face against him. Let me think. I guess Sheik, Luigi, Mii Brawler.
I mean, are you going to see a lot of Diddies, you think, still?
It's weird, I guess. I feel like, because the thing is, a lot of the Diddy mains, a lot of the people that used Diddy back then jumped ship and went to different characters. But I probably would still put Diddy there because he's still viable. He's just not the best character anymore, or close to the best.
Who do you think that? Will there be much international representation outside of the Japanese players that you mentioned?
Oh, absolutely. There are going to be players from South America that are coming.
I guess you mentioned Mr. R as well. So.
Zero has a friend named Iori, who's the second best in Chile. He's actually at our place as we speak. And
nice.
He mains, I believe, Sheik. Yeah, he mains Sheik as well. And yeah, he's really good. So South America, I've seen some flags from like Colombia and other South American countries that are going to be coming. But most of the notable out of country players are Ally from Canada. Abadango was also really good too. I forgot to mention, if you've ever seen my GIFs on Twitter where you'd see a Pac-Man main that would do sick technology, that would be Abadango. He's going to be at attendance and probably cause some upsets, as he did place top. I think he got like top 8. Yeah, I believe he got top 8 at Apex 2015, catching a lot of people off guard with Pac-Man.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Pac-Man,
Old school. It's going to be pretty sick.
All right, I guess we're starting to run out of time on this. But
okay.
Anything else to bring up?
I guess overall, as far as the custom moves are concerned, look out for Donkey Kong mains spamming an up B move that has an insane win box. It makes it really hard to punish people. Villager mains possibly trying to camp at the edge. Palutena mains killing at earlier percents because of this move named Lightweight. You're going to see a lot of crazy stuff. Some of it will look really cool, especially with the low tiers that don't get much shine. But the top tiers will just get even better. So overall, all I have to say is look out for Zero versus Nairo. Also, I believe, let me look at the brackets as far as bracket predictions are concerned, because so one side of the bracket has Zero, all of Florida, Niatono, one of the best Japanese players, who dropped Sheik and picked up Luigi and Fox. Also, Ally from Canada, best Mario main, and Void, a really technical Hawaiian Sheik. You guys will, like, your mouths will drop when you see him play. He's the most technical and creative Sheik I've ever seen. The other side of the bracket will have a ton of Sheiks as well. Mr. R, Vinny, who's from a tri-state area, one of the best Sheiks in the tri-state region. Nyanko from Japan, another Sheik, and more. And the Mii Brawlers, of course, Nick Riddle, E-Sam's older brother. The Puffster, one of the best original Mii Brawler mains. And the Buzz, Rosalina. Larry, the best Fox. Mr. Concon, one of the best Luigis in SoCal. And Nairo, Zero's rival, who's going to get another chance to probably face off against him if everything goes well for him in top 8. So I think it's going to be really interesting.
Thanks, man.
For Smash 4.
Well, one last question. Ryu is banned, right? Ryu.
Oh, yeah. Mr. We actually tried to ask Mr. Wizard if we can have DLC characters legal, because a lot of us have been trying to get used to them at the same rate that we're trying to get used to customs. It's funny, we actually know how to deal with Ryu, Lucas, and Roy, but we still have like players that are struggling when it comes to figuring out counters to some of the custom moves.
But so those characters are not allowed?
Nope, they're banned.
Oh, all 3 of them. Okay. But Mewtwo is allowed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything you want to plug for yourself before you go?
No, I believe you guys have my social media there. I mean, in the future, I'm definitely gonna think about broadcasting more so people can understand what's going on in the Smash 4 and Melee scene.
Cool.
I've just been traveling a lot, so it's been, I've been too busy.
No, trust me, I know.
All right, hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
no
thanks,
problem, guys.
And
thank you so much for having me.
And have a safe drive, man. I'll see you in Vegas.
Yes, sir. I will see you in Vegas.
All right, peace.
Take care.
All right, so that's Smash 4. I mean, we have Daniel on the line right now. Do you want to just jump right into Melee? Okay, let's just jump right in. Everyone, shout-outs to Daniel, a.k.a. Tafokints.
What's up?
You can see his Twitter on the left over there.
Right here, down at the bottom. Yeah, hey, thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah. So I just want to recap just how much Smash Melee has grown over the past couple of years. So prior to EVO 2013, our largest tournament was actually 350 people at Pound 4. And then EVO 2013 doubled those numbers to almost 700.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
And then, due to the combination of the documentary and Evo, you guys graciously including us into the, the FGC.
Hey, dude, you guys did that. You guys were the ones who put all that money into that funding drive. Yeah. So it has nothing to, so it's shout outs to your community.
For sure.
So
that's true. Yeah, that was a trip. I can't believe that was almost 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then EVO 2014 almost hit 1,000. And then this year we almost doubled again.
Right.
And we're at like 1,800 to 1,900 now, which is just insane.
Well, how much did Apex have earlier this year?
So we had a shade over 1,000, but due to us having to change the venue, I'd say about 200 people got DQ'd.
Yeah.
So you kind of take it with a grain of salt. They had like 1,050-ish registered, but I'd say more likely 850 came.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's gigantic now.
It's insane.
That's awesome.
I would never picture this at all.
Yeah, look, I mean, we were saying this earlier, but that's how we feel just in general about fighting games and Evo. It's it's so much bigger than when we started, orders of magnitude.
Dude, like I made the joke when we first started that, when we did Battle by the Bay, we had like 60 people, and we were like, oh my god, this event is ridiculous, and this is coming into a weekend where Street Fighter is going to have 2,200 people.
Right.
So yeah.
That's insane. I was actually watching old makeshift B5 videos on webcam or on the video cams.
Right.
Like, how much you guys have done in the past 10 years.
It was a while ago.
Yep.
So let's talk narratives. So, I would say it's a 4-horseman race for favorites to win the tournament, and those players are Leffen, Armada, Mango, and Pp. And then we have a couple of underdogs that are lurking that could do well, but I wouldn't call them the favorites, and those would be Hungrybox, and I'm not sure if you're on Twitter, but there's like a Let's Get Mewtwo.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's getting in or not, but based on Wizards' like calmness about it and like somewhat being accommodating, I would put like a 75 to 80% bet that he's gonna get in as well.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
So something like he signed up and then he dropped out and then he's trying to get back in?
He actually never signed up.
He did? Oh, really?
Okay.
But if he actually enters, this actually poses an interesting narrative because we rarely have the top 6 players at the same tournament at once. We had it at Apex earlier this year, and the time before that was Evo and MLG last year. So this is something very rare that ever happens. And this is due to 2 of the people being from Sweden, and one of our other players dealing with kind of personal issues that make him unable to attend.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Okay.
Yeah. And so Leffen is actually right now going in. He's really hot right now. He's won the last 3 events in the past 2 to 3 weeks.
And he hasn't won U.S. events until just recently, right?
Yeah, he had the 3rd place curse, and I kind of suggested that the 3rd place medal be the Leffen medal, whereas the 4th place is the Mike Ross curse.
Yeah.
So 2 of Leffen's biggest roadblocks for Armada and Mango, and Leffen actually beat Mango for the first time in a while. And he, after last week's tournament at What the Fox, he actually is leading in sets 7-6 against Armada, and it's really interesting.
Is that lifetime?
Just for 2015.
Okay. Oh, okay. Dang, they've played each other that many times in 2015, huh?
Yeah. Dang. They have streaks. So Leffen's won the last 4, but before that, Armada won 6 in a row, and then before that, Leffen won 3 in a row.
Okay.
So they live in Sweden together, so that's why they play each other so often.
Sure.
Typically 2 to 3 sets a tournament because of winners finals and grand finals.
Makes sense.
So Leffen actually was on a cold streak before that. Like, he went on a Twitter rampage after he lost to people like Hugs, Axe, SFAT, people who are probably in the top 20. And I think he's starting to pick it up together, and I would say he is a big favorite to go into Evo.
Really? Number 1 favorite?
You can make that bet now just with how well he's been in the past month. I wouldn't say he's like a 70% favorite because there's just so many horses, but I would say like he's a minor favorite if I were to pick anybody. Armada, his storyline is that he has not won a super major after returning from his mini retirement in 2013. So he lost both Evos, lost both Apex, lost CEO, and so he really wants to be called the best of all time or the GOAT.
Right.
And for him to even be considered that, he needs to win these large events. And he's excited. He really wants this, and that's what's at stake for Armada, because he hates losing and he hates Mango Nation. So like Mango fans will say like Mango's greater than Armada, and for Armada to shut those fanboys up, he has to win Evo so that Mango can't say I have Evos and you don't.
Right. Okay.
Mango, you guys already know him. He's won 2 straight Evos, and he wants that 3-Vo. Armada's been his weak point, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
So Mango actually won a set off of Armada last weekend, but it's been highly in Armada's favor in the past year. But Mango on the grand stage, he has that special gene to him, kind of like the Justin Wong effect, where he doesn't get nervous, and if he has like a game plan to win or a win solution, he'll find it and he'll will his way to victory. I don't know what it is, because every year we go to Evo and we go like, I don't think Mango's gonna win. Like, he's been struggling, he's been losing to this player, and then he just shows up and he plays like the least choky out of like everybody.
So even the last 2 Evos, Mango wasn't necessarily considered the favorite going in, huh?
Yeah, he was not. I mean, he was a definitely top contender, but you can say he's like a runaway favorite going into it.
Okay.
And then we have PPMD, who's the biggest mystery, because he enters a tournament and he sometimes gets 4th and sometimes out of the blue gets 1st. So at Apex 2015, like, he didn't play for like 6 months, and then all of a sudden he wins the tournament and beats Armada and Leffen, and we're just like, well, what the heck?
Okay, cool.
So there's the big 4, and then we have like a bunch of other exciting people. Hungrybox is a dark horse. If Mewtwo gets in, like, he had some very impressive sets against Mewtwo and Mango, took them to Game 5, narrowly lost. So there's some exciting points there. And then we have the Japanese favorite Yoshi. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Amsa.
My favorite.
I love Amsa.
Dude,
that guy just loves playing. He has such a positive attitude. He got 5th at Apex. And we don't know what to do against Yoshi. We say, like, for a 14-year-old game, you should learn every matchup. But, like, Amsa comes in and does these, like, ridiculous combos. We're like, oh, gosh, I didn't know that Yoshi could do that.
Yeah, that happens. That's cool.
Dude, his egg usage just kisses fingertips. I mean, seriously, I love watching the way he uses the egg. Oh, man.
It's really gnarly, and it's best of 3s too. We're traditionally used to a best of 5 format, so other players have even less of a time to adapt, and that plays highly into Amsa's favor. And then we have a bunch of people that recently got signed. So we have Axe, Westballs, and PPU that all got signed, and they really want to perform for their team. So Axe and Westballs have signed with Tempo Storm.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
And PPU signed with CLG, so they really want to perform and make their teams proud. They've been all doing really well lately, so I would say anywhere from like top 6 to top 16 is very possible for them, but obviously they want the top 8.
Oh yeah. Well,
and then we have a bunch of people that aren't sponsored that I feel that a top 8 could give them the publicity on day 3, where like 100K plus people are watching. If they get top 8, they're probably going to get signed somewhere.
Okay.
Nice. So this is actually like almost like a make or break weekend for some of these guys as well, then, huh?
I agree, because this is where your value shines. Because I know that sponsors are looking for Smash players, but like if Smashers are holding out and waiting for that big performance, that can raise their stock significantly as bargaining chips to say, I want this amount of money, or I want these sponsors, and as opposed to these like smaller sponsors that aren't offering anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Hungrybox did really well at Evo last year, but you don't have him in like a likelihood to repeat that?
So I have him as a dark horse, and he actually beat Armada in a set last weekend, or a couple weekends ago. He's always a guy that like probably has like losing matchups to most of the big contenders. So like Mango is like 20 something in like 4 lifetime against Hungrybox.
Okay.
And the Fox matchup is just getting worse and worse for Jigglypuff, and you have like these second tier Foxes that can beat Hungrybox now. So there's a lot of people that make it so that he doesn't have a free ride to top 8 even.
Well, go ahead.
But he plays Jigglypuff, and it's a character that capitalizes on nerves and mistakes. So if the Fox player or someone else is playing really nervous, then the Puff can really thrive. So if you're in an environment that's really high pressure, that's where like the characters that have a 0 to death combo like really shine.
Right. Okay. Well, you mentioned some of those players that are, you know, hoping to get to top 8, looking for sponsorships. Like who like what are some of the names that people should be looking out for?
So there's Plup from Florida, who's a really good Sheik. He almost beat Mango last time, and almost beat Leffen too if it wasn't for some stage shenanigans. There's a Shroomed, who's always a top 8, right? Yeah. From NorCal. And then there's also Silent Wolf, infamous for getting 4-stocked on the grand stage.
Right, last year.
Oh man, okay. Now, just in general for Smash, I mean, this is a 15-year-old game, right? And you know, our closest comparison that we always like to give is Super Turbo, right? And even a game like Super Turbo, you have a low-tier character like T-Hawk all of a sudden jump up to like top 5 characters. Has the Melee scene, especially these past couple of years with, you know, growing popularity, has it changed much? Is it getting to a point where like maybe the Spaceys aren't necessarily like the top characters, maybe other characters are coming in, or is it still pretty much maintaining how it was?
More or less, even from when the game came out, I think most people had a good sense of who's the top and who's not. But there's always a cyclical balance. So like we had the quote-unquote 20XX movement that was really popular last year, where like we just thought everybody was going to go Fox and Falco, and then we're seeing Marth, Sheik, and Falcon develop new technology to fight Spaceys. So it's like kind of like building a better weapon for the better defense, and the defense is building a better defense for the weapon, where the weapons are the space animals and like the walls are everybody else.
Okay, right. But right now, is it considered that Fox and Falco are still number 1?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Fox, Falco, Marth, and Sheik are up there, and I think we all agree Fox is number 1. And depending on who you talk to, Falco, Marth, and Sheik can vary from 2 to 4.
Now, here's an interesting thing. I know, like, for example, Armada is known for Peach, right? Yeah. And he said that he was going to stop using Peach because, you know, just wasn't being able to keep up with the space animals. But then at one point, didn't he just bust out Peach recently and beat Mango or somebody in a tournament?
So I think... So Armada tends to speak in hyperboles, and you'll get this.
Okay.
So like he swears that Peach can't beat Puff, for example. So he actually brought out the Peach for 2 specific, the Fox rather, for 2 specific people, and that was for Leffen and the Fox Pseudo, and for Hungrybox's Puff. And I honestly think against like almost every other player, he can beat them with Peach over 50% of the time.
Okay. So it's just standard FGC hyperbole. My character sucks. I know nothing about that.
Right, yeah, I'm sure you don't.
I'm sure you guys get that every year a new Street Fighter gets released.
Trust me, yeah. Oh, man. So, I don't know, do you want to go into like some pools and stuff like that? I mean, have you had a chance to look through the pools, see if there's any notable pools, brackets of death, or anything like that? Okay,
so I actually like did like a 3-hour analysis because I create fantasy drafts for
nice.
For Smash actually.
Yeah, I mean you're also really well known for doing statistics and coming up with like crazy infographics and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So if you want to see like a lot of really cool things, definitely follow Tafokints on Twitter. And I've always seen like people post up all of your graphics and stuff like that. It's really cool stuff.
So. There's like 6 waves, and wave C is by far the most scrubby, easiest pool. So if your second wave coincides with the people from wave C, then you have a pretty straight route to top 32. Okay. If you're like kind of confident. We were very fortunate. What's his face? Ponder or Tom and Tony were actually really nice to us, and actually allowed for me and some other Melee on me figureheads to rearrange the pools to try to make it as fair as possible. Nice. So we don't really see super death pools.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah. No, I mean they do that every year. They have the feedback thing, and they'll admit more than anyone else that they don't know all the players, right? So it's good that they get you guys involved and such. So that's awesome.
So there's a lot of potential upsets. So if we're going from top 32 to top 8. Mango is on a road to playing Plup, and PP plays Axe potentially, and those are two upsets that could happen where Mango and PP are PPMD are two heavy favorites to win it, but they could actually go into losers bracket even before top 8.
So I mean, honestly though, once you get from top 32 to top 8, can anything really be considered an upset at this point with the amount of great players there are?
I mean, if you get from, what was it, 1850 or something like that, down to 32, you're pretty good.
I always feel like this is like playing in a World Series of Poker event.
Yeah.
Just how huge it is. And to go from like top 64 to like even top 16 requires to win like the Ace King versus like the Pocket Tens type of situations where it's going to be like a 50-50. And I really do agree. I think anybody outside of Armada, Left, and Mango PP, like if anybody else were to beat them, that'd be considered an upset. But among everybody else in the top 32, if somebody were to beat somebody else, it wouldn't really be considered an upset at all.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. I want you guys to keep going because I know that you guys have a lot to
Indeed. We do.
Yeah, but again, thank you for coming on. When are you heading out to Vegas?
I'm going to be heading out Thursday after work, and then I'm probably going to take a half day so I can beat traffic. I'm in Pasadena, so it's going to be about a 4-hour trip.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Anything you want to plug?
Just Melee It On Me, the great group of figureheads that do work for Smash. My Twitter, which is Tafokints, and my YouTube channel. Just search Tafo Talks, and you'll see me talk about different topics in the Smash community.
Okay. Cool. Thanks a lot. Hey, really appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully I'll catch you in Vegas. So.
All right. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Have a good one.
Peace.
Okay. So let's take another break. When we come back, we are going to invite Honzogonzo on, and we will talk about Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
All right. Be right back, guys.